Hi there boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Random Geek channel. So today we're doing another unboxing and mini review, and we're looking at the LiitoKala Engineer Li 500. So those guys new to the channel, I'm the Random Geek, and what I do is the best bang for buck budget tech review out there. So those in the know, or those who are very involved in do it yourself projects, particularly if you're doing battery boxes, power walls, you name it. If it has to do with actual batteries, you would know that this is probably the best bang for buck battery analyzer and charger out there. So my mainstay of the last couple of years has been the Powerex MH-C9000. So this was I've had this for about 10 years. It's been amazing. I've kept it in perfect working conditions. I even have the plastic screen protector still in there. That's how well I've actually kept it. It's been amazing. So what the Powerex actually does is it analyzes and refreshes your batteries and charges your battery all in one. The only thing is, this has been a bit outdated now, because one thing is it only does two sizes, which is your AA and your AAA batteries, and another thing is it only focuses on nickel cadmium and nickel metal hydride batteries. So old battery chemistry and time for like an upgrade pretty much. So I'm just going to call this the Engineer 500 from now on, because that's pretty much a mouthful. So the important thing with this one is it does everything that the Powerex does, but it also does it on multiple battery sizes, and it does work on the current battery chemistry that's popular out there, which is lithium-ion. So it also does nickel cadmium and nickel metal hydride. The added bonus is you do the lithium-ion actual batteries. So yep. So as I said, if you're doing TUI projects, because I make my own like power packs, and yeah, I might do like a power wall project down the actual track. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this one. So the important thing is it does the charging, and it does the analyzing of the cells. Most chargers out there, you would go out and you would buy it, and the only thing it does is to charge the battery, but it doesn't tell you the capacity of the battery and also the internal resistance of the battery, if the cell is actually still good and you can still use it and it has many cycles, but you can still utilize. So we're just gonna so this product, I bought it from Amazon's. I don't think it's available on Amazon's Australia, so those guys just looking at buying it locally, you would have to probably import it. I do expect this to have a US charger, because I bought it from the US store. The good news is the input does just use a standard 12 volt with a 12 plug. I think it's 12 volts, 2 amps. And you can buy those pretty much anywhere, and you buy them for cheap. I've got plenty around the house, so I'm not too worried about not being able to charge this product. The other model that is popular is probably the Opus BT range. A lot of people will buy those ones as well. That would be my second option if you can't get this one here, and the reason is the Opus series actually does everything that this model actually does, but the only difference is this can charge at 1 amp, while the Opus will max out at 500 milliamps. So you're saving a lot of time, particularly if you are analyzing hundreds of resource lithium-ion cells. For example, if you're doing a power wall project and you've got thousands of cells, that extra time in which you can discharge and analyze the battery is going to save you in the long run, because it's going to work twice as fast. And if you've got multiple one of these, you can line them up and just analyze multiple sets of batteries at a time, and it's going to save you like a lot of time. Also, it's similarly priced. I think I got this for about 45 Australian dollars or something. So it's pretty cheap. You will see other brands like Nightcore, you do have to factor in the fact that the LiitoKala series only does charging and it doesn't analyze the battery. Okay, so as I said, smart universal charger, lithium, nickel metal hydride, and nickel cadmium, so it's backwards compatible there. Funny Chinese spelling there. So basically, MCU charging that way. The charge is selective, as I said, pointed out, but it's at 1 amp, so you are going to discharge and analyze your cells a lot faster than the other ones. And then there's 2 modes, yes, as I said, charging and discharging. You can actually use this as a power bank. So if you've got cells lined in here, there's a port at the top which you can discharge from and use this as a portable power bank. But I think that's rated at only 5 volts and 1 amp, so it's quite slow charging. Okay, your standard stuff: short circuit protection, reverse protection if you've actually put your cells in the wrong way, overcharge and discharge protection, that's standard. It measures the temperature, time limitation, that's just making sure that you don't overcharge your cell, and also it's going to detect when you've got a faulty battery. So what you're looking here is, it's great because it's got an LCD display. It's going to monitor in real time how much energy is being put in, how much energy is taken out. So you've got your charge state, your capacity in milliamps, at the voltage that the cell is at, and the power going in, the current time it takes, so you can actually measure how long the discharge will takes, and that's where the 1 amp charging is going to be very important there. It's going to measure the current, and very important, it's going to the internal resistance. So if you've got a high cell with a high internal resistance, you know you've got a bad cell, and you're probably going to have to dispose of that responsibly. So that's pretty much staying the same there, so not going to bother with that. So the technical stats, very important here. So I said as input, so 12 volt 2 amp. So if you've got an adapter which just plugs into the wall and it outputs at 12 volts and 2 amps, whenever you do need a spiral plug for that one, it is going to work. So charging output, you've got your lithium-ion cells, and that's the different charging rate. So 4.2 volts, you're looking at your 18650 cells mainly. So also with the older style batteries, 1.48 volts, so it's getting close to the 1.5 volt, but you normally get in your alkali batteries. Once again, you can charge up to 1 amp as well. So yeah, discharge output, same thing. USB output, yep, I was right, it only outputs at 5 volts and 1 amp in there. And the battery sizes, this is where it's really important. It's compatible with a lot of different battery sizes. What I'm more focused on is charging 18650 cells and probably the CR123 cells. Those are the batteries that are very common in cameras and also security cameras, and we'll be using it to analyze the cells, because I've got a bunch of cells at home which I believe are faulty, and we're going to analyze it using this bad boy here. Kind of disappointing, but it doesn't do 2170 cells. Maybe down the track we might be able to source Tesla batteries. See how we go. But I have noticed that during this whole global climate at the moment, particularly with what's going on, it's been very hard to find good quality cells and import them from overseas countries. Whatever, there's a flight limit or whatever, it's been quite hard to source them, so I may have to wait a little while until I source some extra batteries. But anyway, when I got this, it was covered in a plastic shrink wrap, but I've taken it off to make it a bit easier, because everyone knows I suck at the knife. You can see where I sliced it there, and it's modeled up the label. So we're just going to pull this off, figure out, see what's inside, and then we'll run some battery tests. Okay, bit of foam, check that out. So, user manual. So, hopefully in Chinese. Okay, so basic manual. How to use it. Really easy how to use it in that case. You can charge it in the car. So if you've got a cigarette lighter or the utility plug in your vehicle, you'll be able to charge that on the go. Power brick here. I'm just going to rip everything apart. So obviously I've got a US plug because I got it from the US. At the moment I couldn't find a supplier that actually sold this in Australia, but no worry there because I've got plenty of 12 volt chargers with a barrel plug. Worst case scenario, I've got a step down controller that will bring that down to the proper voltage, and I've got plugs for, you know, universal plugs for US products. So not too concerned about that one. So charger here, so that's what it looks like. So we're going to move this box aside. Might just dump it over there. Might just dump this. Okay, so very basic. It's a lot smaller than the Powerex, definitely slimmer. I'm curious to see how larger cells fit in, and it is a lot of space that you can put the batteries in. Very important with this one, it loads from the bottom up and not the other way around. Most chargers will load from the bottom up on the spring load, but it's spring loaded here. And remember that the positives are down the bottom here and not the other way around. So, and you got your slot buttons, and that will determine which slot that you're looking at. Obviously your mode. We have 3 modes here. One's just a normal charge, one is a charge and discharge to just figure out the battery. And then I think you got what's called a null test on this model, and what it does is it will charge up the battery, then slowly discharge the battery and figure out the capacity of the battery, and then charge it up to full. So you wouldn't use that on batteries that you haven't used in a while or batteries you're not sure of. And what they will do is that will refresh the battery. Particularly if you've got battery that is in storage for a long period of time, it's very good to refresh the batteries to make sure that they're in good health and you don't degrade the battery time, because batteries don't like being stored at high charge state for a long period of time. So what you're going to do is you're going to get sliding on the anodes and the actual cathodes of the battery, and it's going to limit your capacity and also the output of the battery, which is very important. So these are where these things come in. So here we go, we've got the input plug there, output plug for 5 watt 4 amps. Charge rate, obviously this one will charge in increments of I think 200, so you can charge it at 300, 500, 700 and 1 amp. The thing that was really great with the Powerex was supercharge the charge rate with much smaller increments. That's just the reason why that a lot of engineers, a lot of people who work in circuits, electricians, and people who just TUI projects in the past, like the Powerex was the best out there. Particularly for the price, it was a lot pricier than this one here. It was like double the price when I got it over 10 years ago. So you got to understand that that's where we come from. This is where we're at now. Then obviously it's just stating on the back what it does there. So very neat, nifty unit, but it's going to last a very long time. It's particularly if you want to do like larger like projects. For example, if you were reclaiming like a whole bunch of 1866 cells, where we're getting it from laptops, modems, you know, like a lot of communication towers will sell its batteries, but you can open those batteries up and reclaim those cells. Yeah, at the moment, sourcing high quality cells have been quite difficult. The thing with the engineer is the brand here, they make the chargers. You will also see online that they will sell batteries. Remember, but just be mindful that LiitoKala, they don't make cells, they only resell and rebrand cells. So you can't be on 100% certain the quality of cells. Make sure that if you are buying like 18650 cells online, make sure that you can see what the battery product is and the battery ID, and you can just look at the data sheet for that particular cell, and you can test it using this device to see what the rated capacities are when you're doing a project. So I've bought these like random cells online. Unfortunately, they were button top but not flat top ones. They state that these ones, what are these? These are WG, like green power ones, and I have never used these ones before, but the manufacturers claim 1400 milliamp hours, which I find really doubtful in these cells. Well, so I'm going to analyze these ones using this one, but as I bought this for cheap, so let's see how we go. If it turns out to be even close to that, I'm going to be really surprised. Most likely it's probably around the 3000 milliamp hour, but like you will see like lithium ion cells and market at 9000 milliamp hours, and that is complete other, yeah, it just doesn't work, particularly with the current cell chemistry. Maybe we'll see something on the Tesla battery day. We'll see what it turns up, but at the moment, yeah. So that's my brief unboxing, and we're just gonna have a quick look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in, and we're going to see and run a cycle on those cells and see what we get. Okay, Random Geek out, and I'll see you guys in a second, and we'll just quickly talk about the results that I get on it. Alright, cheers. Hi guys, and welcome back. And we've just finished running the normal test cycle on the Engineer Li 500s. So in terms of using the device, you change the modes with the mode button, and there's 3 modes. There's a normal charge mode, so you phone the batteries, set the charge rate, and it will charge the battery up to full. The second mode, which is called fast charge, it's not really a fast charge. What it does is it will charge it up to maximum capacity and then slowly discharge the battery and work out a rough capacity of the cell. The normal test, which is one that I've run on these cells here, and what that does is it charges the battery up to full, slowly discharges the cell to measure the capacity, and then recharges the cell. I did figure out that the discharge rate is highly dependent on the rate of charge that you set. So if you charge it at the 300 to 500 milliamp hour charge, the cell will discharge at 300 milliamp hours, and if you're charging at the high rates, 700 and the 1000 milliamp hours, it will discharge at half the rate at 500 milliamps. So as I suspected, with these these WGP cells, I was very doubtful that they were 4200. I was like, even at best, I would say it's going to be at 2000 milliamp hours. And guess what? We only got 1000 milliamp hours on these batteries. So very disingenuous in terms of the labeling. So if you press the button there, I'll turn on the backlight. I've only got 1000 milliamp hours, and so how the charger works is you throw the actual battery in, and you've got 8 seconds to select which mode that you want. So you change the mode with the mode button, and you set the current on this button here, and you wait until it stops flashing, and then it will automatically do its thing. And you just change the slots here. So the battery in slot 2 is roughly about the same, 1085, 1042, and you will get a rough reading of the degree resistance on the screen. And guess what? The fourth cell is not even 1000, it's 831, so pretty poor in this case. And it's even got a high degree resistance level there. This device isn't perfect in comparison to the the Powerex MH-C9000. This is probably it doesn't allow you that fine detail to change the charging current, because in the Powerex you can charge up to 100 milliamp hour increments. This one you can't, and it does have a lot more functions. But then again, the Powerex is a really old model. You probably still buy them now, but they're about $100 when I bought them about over a decade ago. It's really fantastic device because what it does is it analyzes, it refreshes your battery. Like you can break in your batteries, you can do a lot of more things, but unfortunately that model hasn't been updated to reflect the current types of battery chemistry today. But anyway, that's just a brief review of this device. It's really easy to use. Yeah, I find it a lot more useful in terms of analyzing your battery cells, particularly if you're doing do-it-yourself projects. So if you're doing like power banks, power boxes, power walls, you name it. If you had to analyze a whole bunch of cells, you can buy these cheaply for about, I think that's 45 Australian dollars. They're really cheap. You buy a bunch of these and analyze a lot of cells in a very short period of time. And also you can charge at the same time. They're a bit more versatile than the Nightcore or even the Opus brands. The Opus is very similar to this one, except it only charges at half the rate and this charges at half the rate. So it's a bit more time consuming use. But I reckon this is a great device if you want something cheap that will charge and analyze your battery cells. Anyway, that's it for me right now, and as always, press the like button, press the subscribe, or leave a comment if you wish. Press the notification bell. We've got a small little community here. If you want to leave a comment, just leave a constructive comment and I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have. Anyway, Random Geek out. Cheers.